Hey, how's it going, everyone? I just want to give you an update about what I expect for you to do for lab this week. So, if you take a look down on the lab module, I put the link to the lab game that I want you to play. So, if you take a click onto that, it should bring you to this website. If you don't want to use it in this sort of on canvas, you can click up here. It'll bring you to the actual website. And this lab is all about building evolutionary trees. And so basically it'll teach you all about it, and there'll be little games for you to play, little videos for you to watch. And so let's basically go through this first one so you can get an idea of how it works. So I hit play down here. So every time it comes to a screen like this, you'll have organisms on the bottom that you are to drag into the tree. Okay, so there's only two here, and it's going to build the tree automatically. Now we're going to come over here to the side and drag the traits that they give you. So, and we're going to put those somewhere on the tree that makes sense. So this says cells with nuclei. If you remember, organisms that have cells that contain nuclei are eukaryotic organisms. So a palm tree is a tree or a plant, and a gecko is a reptile. And so we know that those both have cells with nuclei. So if they both have cells with nuclei, that trait goes down here. You can see it runs all the way up. And when you've solved the puzzle correctly, all the circles should be filled in. So that's our first one. I'll go ahead and hit next. So this time they're adding this mushroom called the fly agaric, and it says here's another species and two more traits. Click on the magnifying glass to gather the information. So if you click on this magnifying glass and then click the organism, it comes up with a picture of it, some stuff here, and says it has cells with nuclei and it's heterotrophic. You can go over to check out the gecko, and you can go over and check out the palm tree. So let's add somewhere up here. We'll just put it there for now. Okay, and we can see that cells with nuclei fills in the fly agaric bubble as well. So we know that it is a eukaryote. So we've now got heterotrophic. Heterotrophic, if you remember, it means that it builds its own. It has to eat other organisms in order to obtain its energy. And then we have photosynthetic autotroph. What it means it does photosynthesis and it creates its own energy. So if you weren't sure which of these were heterotrophic and which of these were autotrophic, you can just drag to where you think, okay, well, I know heterotrophic, I know this gecko is definitely heterotrophic, so let's see if that works out. And it does, the gecko is heterotrophic. And let's say I thought, well, then both of these must be photosynthetic autotroph. And let's see. And you can see the palm tree is, but oh, look, the mushroom is actually not getting the photosynthetic autotroph trait. So what I would do at that point is drag him over here to see if he's a heterotroph, and you see that he is. Okay, so when all these circles are filled up with specific traits, it means you finished the tree for this assignment. So now that you completed the first puzzle, answer this question: is an animal or a plant more closely related to a fungus? Okay, so the way that trees work is that each of these nodes are an evolution event. So there was a common ancestor here, but then an evolution event happened, and we get way down the line, we get a gecko and we get a mushroom. Okay, but the last common ancestor between these two is right here. The last common ancestor between all of them is right here. So the trait that they all contain, it has to be the farthest back on the line. Okay, they're not all photosynthetic and they're not all heterotrophic. Okay, so the trait that they all have is the farthest back on the timeline. You could think of this as being the beginning of time and this being the end of time. Okay, so if I look at this question, is an animal or a plant more closely related to a fungus? Well, I can see this is the fungus, and the animal is actually more closely related. It shares a common ancestor much closer into our time than it does a common ancestor with this palm tree. So I will say it's more closely related to an animal. And I get yes, nice job. Okay, so that's that first, the first little part. The next would be familiar faces. And it just goes on like this the rest of the way. Okay, so let me just show you all that you need to do. There are 6 missions, so you have to play through all of them. And what I expect from you is every time you complete a tree, to please take a screenshot of it completed and send it to me either via email or on Canvas. Okay, so please take a screenshot once you've finished one of the trees, one of the puzzles, with all of the correct answers, and send it to me via email or Canvas. Okay. After that, come back to Canvas, select Home, go down all the way to our Evolution module, and hit this Evolution Lab. There's a little quiz here that has 6 questions. Sorry, that's not it. Go to the quizzes, and it's right here, the Evolution Lab quiz. So go ahead and take this quiz. There's 6 points. This is just pretty much a check to see if you watched the videos and did the assignment. Okay, so those are the 2 things. This is open until Sunday night at midnight. Okay, Sunday night at midnight. So I will start it now from the moment that I post this video to Sunday at midnight. Okay, if you've got any questions, please feel free to contact me via email or via Canvas. All right, I'll see you soon.